I was actually planning to get this live yesterday morning, but I had a couple of appointments I had to attend, so I couldn't really get myself around to doing it. And I just woke up like literally half an hour ago. I didn't even finish my coffee yet, but I wanted to jump on here to talk about the Dateline interview of Amber Heard with Savannah Guthrie. And the reason why I'm doing it is because yesterday morning I woke up to a wonderful surprise from YouTube. I checked my emails, and as it turns out, I received a copyright claim on the interview. Yes, I received a copyright claim. And so I started looking around and I wanted to see if was I the only one receiving this copyright claim, because it's very interesting that the beginning of the interview was, allowed to be shared just about everywhere, right? And this part, the rest of the interview, I got a copyright claim. And as I started digging around, I realized that everybody got a copyright claim. All YouTubers, everybody who was sharing and streaming and everything. And I'm not talking here about small YouTubers like I am, like with 2,000 subscribers. I'm talking here about YouTubers with hundreds of thousands, even millions of subscribers. And not only that, but also professional YouTubers like lawyers, barristers, body language analysts, body language experts, and so on and so forth. And not only that, but also YouTubers who use the interview to, as a commentary. So that there are a couple of rules on YouTube about copyright claims and things like that. And sometimes you can use a video, even though it has copyright, to use it under fair use, which means that if you add value to it and you change it significantly, then it falls under fair use. So all those bigger YouTubers who actually used this interview as commentary, which would typically fall under fair use, they received the copyright claims as well, which is very interesting. Now, I want to show you the email I received yesterday, and I also want to show you exactly where in the length of the whole video I received the copyright claim. I uploaded the video, and granted, I didn't really add anything to it. So yeah, I can say that it doesn't really fall under fair use, but I wanted to, upload it so everybody can see. And I'm just going to jump quickly on my computer. Let me see if I can I change the camera? Let's see. Oh yes, here it is. Here is the copyright claim that I received for this video. And here is the email that I received. Now, even if no one is watching me now, you'll be able to catch me on later on. It's just I'm getting ready to record some videos, so I couldn't really go live later in the day. Anyway, so this is the email that I received. The copyright owner using content ID has claimed some material in your video. As a result, your video has been blocked and can no longer be played on YouTube. This is not a copyright strike. This claim does not affect your account status. Video title: as you can see, Amber Heard Dateline interview with Savannah Guthrie from NBC. Copyright content: Dateline domestic, claimed by NBC Universal. Right, so it has been blocked. I received the copyright claim. Now, the main difference between a copyright claim and a copyright strike is that the copyright strike in itself affects your channel negatively, in the sense that you do get a warning on the channel, whereas a copyright claim doesn't affect your channel at all, and it can be appealed, obviously, if you think there are grounds for it. I mean, a copyright strike can be appealed as well, but the copyright strike, in comparison to the claim, negatively affects your channel. So the way it goes is that if in a certain amount of time you receive 3 of these warnings, then your channel can be terminated. So that's the difference between a claim and a strike in regards to YouTube and how, YouTube platform works for the creators. So NBC Universal has a copyright, and they did the claim, and they did it, and they claimed the video for every single YouTuber out there. And I don't think it was only YouTubers, but probably all over the social media and the platforms in general. Everybody received this claim, not only me. Even though, like I already said, I just uploaded the video, I didn't really add any value to it, but everybody else who even had commentary videos, they went live, they were analyzing, Amber's body language, they were analyzing Amber's statements. So in the end, they added value and they changed completely the interview, which would be the rule to fall under fair use. And especially when you have a 3 or 4 hour long live stream and you use a segment which is 40 minutes long, then again it does fall under fair use. I believe that's, as far as I know, because that's how I do usually with all my videos. And I'm also using in so many of my videos videos from news outlets, and I'm having issues at times, especially with BBC, for example, where I get a copyright claim, but then I appeal the claim saying that it falls under fair use, and indeed the claim is usually accepted, so the copyright claim is removed from my video. But this one is very interesting, and not only because it's NBC and they decided to put a copyright and affect all the channels out there, but I get it. NBC, it's a big platform, they want to have their viewers, they want to have their members and whatever. But the most important thing is that throughout the whole of last week, every single day, they released these small snippets of 3 minutes long from the interview, of 8 minutes long from the interview, 9 minutes long, and nobody received a copyright claim, and everyone was allowed to share on YouTube, to share everywhere on social media, to build up the hype for the full interview. Because this is what I think it was. I think that NBC, they were being, in my opinion, bastards, and they did this as part of a strategy. Because just imagine, guys, you release a 3-minute interview, you build up the hype around it, and you know that by now everybody's covering Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and you know that everybody's going to take this and they will start sharing and resharing just about everywhere online. So of course that NBC didn't put a copyright on the first parts of the interviews that they released, the videos, and they allowed all of us to share everywhere, to build up the hype, to get the audience, before releasing the full interview. So basically we did their job for them in terms of promoting their interview, and they didn't have to pay anybody anything, and that's why they allowed it to happen. And boom, you get the full interview, the 40 minutes long interview, and there you have it. Nobody can use it anymore. And also, I think, in my opinion, having watched the full interview, in comparison to having watched the clips that were released at first for the whole week before the full interview was released, NBC, and I'm not going to say that it was Savannah Guthrie, maybe, they had some kind of a deal going on there, but it seemed that the full interview, was extremely biased. And it seemed that the interview was in support of Amber Heard rather than in support of the jury and the verdict and Johnny Depp, because the verdict spoke. It was a unanimous verdict. So they believed Johnny Depp, right? But as it turns out, NBC even removed a part of the interview. They changed a really big part where, well, it's not timely, if you will, it's not a really big part, it's just a couple of seconds long, but it shows a really big slip up from Amber Heard, and this was removed in the final interview. Obviously that everybody caught on to it from the previous interview bits that were published, and everybody was sharing it, and they actually not only removed a few seconds, but they also edited to make it sound like she replied differently than how she replied. So when the question was asked, I think it was about what do you say to people, you know, who are in a situation of DV or something similar to that, and she said that I can't remember now what she said. I think she said that uh, she said something to the likes that not everybody has resources like you and me do in terms of you know, being a victim and the support available and the reporting and all these kind of things. So this was removed because this would have been a really big slip up from Amber Heard, saying that you know, you and me don't have the resources that she has, which meant that, you know, she wouldn't be a victim of DV because she has all the resources, right? I'm not an analyst, a body language analyst, or, you know, whatever expert. I'm just, you know, I'm just saying it as I see it. So that was removed, and it was kind of, you know, changed. A part of her answer was removed so that it sounds differently than how her answer was, which is again a big tell, because in the parts of the interviews which were released for the first week before the full Dateline interview, it was just left as it was. So they decided to edit that part out, which is again really telling in my opinion. I think that not only were they biased when they edited the interview before releasing the full interview, but I also think that I think that this came from Amber Heard, and well, not exactly Amber Heard, but her team. I think it came from her team, and I think that her team had a really big say in this interview. And I also think that the questions were given to Amber before the interview, and I think that she was prepared. She prepared herself how to answer these questions. And obviously, she didn't do a great job of it, because in the end, you know, a narcissist will still be a narcissist, and they will slip up and they will still try to make themselves look like the victim. So, yeah, it kind of derailed. There were a lot of mentions made about Edward Scissorhands, which had nothing to do with anything really, Captain Jack Sparrow and the fans in the quorum and all these kind of things. And the average person, what does the average person has to do with anything? Average person, everybody is a person. The way that she said average person, it made it seem like she's just above everybody else. So yeah, so basically this is it. If you guys have seen the full interview, the one that I uploaded is not available anymore. It has been completely blocked, and I will show you on my computer. And I will also show you something else which I found very interesting. So let's try to go back on the screen here. Okay. So as you can see, I'm going back to the copyright claim here. Video cannot be seen or monetized. This is blocked in all territories. So this is blocked all over the world. No one can view this video due to one or more of the content ID claims below. So they did a claim on audio and video as well, right? Okay, so we know that we have the copyright claim. This is very unusual. Being blocked in all territories is highly unusual, at least for me, because usually I do get copyright claims, but usually they are not blocked all over the place, right? They are blocked in certain countries, but not all over the world. So it's not completely blocked. This one is completely blocked from being viewed on YouTube. Whereas other copyright claims that I was dealing with personally, they were still visible on YouTube. The only difference was that you couldn't get it monetized. So you couldn't really add, you couldn't really have running ads on. So this is the main difference here. It's completely blocked. So it's not even visible on YouTube anymore, or anywhere else for that matter. So like I said, they were trying to build up the hype. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you have a look here, so this whole interview is 40 minutes 21. This is the full length of the interview. So if you see here, the content for the copyright found was during the timestamps 9 minutes 13 to 40 minutes 18, right? So 9 minutes 13, obviously I can't play you the segment which is not copyright claimed. This is the first bit here, which is not copyright claimed, which it goes up to minute 9:13. So now if you remember the the initial interview clips that were released and that everybody was sharing and using and analyzing, the last one was around 10 minutes long. So that part of it is not copyrighted. As you can see here, the content found is after minute 9 up to 40, minute 40. So whatever was released before this interview was released is not copyrighted, according to what YouTube is telling me anyway. And I find this very, very telling, because they are still allowing, NBC is still allowing the first part of the interview to be streamed, to be published. Well, not this interview, but I mean the first ones that were released. They are still allowing that to be published to further build the hype. And I think that was their strategy from the beginning. Build the hype around the full interview to get the audience, to get people to really, really, want to watch it and things. And then that there will be, most of them, Johnny Depp fans, and they will be really excited to watch the interview with Amber Heard, what she has to say, and things like that. So they got, free advertising from everybody, because everybody jumped on this, right? And it was shared everywhere. We live in a social media era where everything is shared everywhere. Just watch TikTok. TikTok is full of, videos of Johnny Depp trial and all these kind of things. So it really created like a media frenzy out there, this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, the defamation trial. And so NBC was relying on this, because NBC knew that the hype is going to build up around this interview. And so they didn't copyright the parts that they released first. They copyrighted the rest of it for obvious reasons. I believe, one, it was a marketing strategy, advertising for free. Two, building up the hype for the audience. Most of the audience were Johnny Depp fans. Third, you get to the day of the interview, you get your ratings high because everybody is already wanting to watch this full interview, right? You already know that most of them are Johnny Depp fans. And then you get the full interview, the audience is already there. You don't need to market it, you don't need to advertise it. Basically free advertising, as I said. And I keep saying it over and over again. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is how it is. And yeah, get to the day of the full interview. It turns out that is very much biased, in my opinion. Very much biased. And not only is very much biased, in my opinion, but also they cut out a part to change Amber Heard's answer. Why would you do that if you wouldn't have some kind of a deal with Amber Heard's team, right? This is the way that I am seeing things. I don't know if everybody agrees with me, but I think that this is what happened. And lastly, I was talking to my husband yesterday about the copyright claim that I received, and I explained to him everything and how it's so strange. And we even said that media, you can't trust media, and media is always trying to silence you when you try to go against them and when you try to speak the truth. And this is a prime example of this, of NBC trying to silence all YouTubers and all people who are trying to share this video by now adding a copyright claim to the video, even though they allowed everyone to share before that. So needless to say, lastly, before I go, because I'm actually getting ready to record some videos, before I go, I just want to say that as far as I know, NBC's ratings really dropped after they released the Amber Heard the full interview. And they took a hit on that because, like I said, they were getting themselves ready with Johnny Depp fans, right, to be watching the interview. And obviously a lot of people can tell by now that, in my opinion, allegedly he's biased. So it's not actually, neutral. It's kind of biased, from my opinion, yeah. So it's a shame, really. But again, I don't know why I'm surprised, because yet again, the big media outlets, when they try to silence people, they will eventually manage to do it. Like I said, a prime example is this one. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you are not watching me now and catching me later on, thank you for catching me later on whenever you do. like I said, I'm just getting ready to record a couple of videos. All right, guys, take care. Bye.